Pretty good stats to have and well warranting the MVP vote. There you can see your Chinese casters on the stream. Every single one of them predicted a 2-0 for OMG. I'm going to have to do the same thing, but I'm not the only one here. I'm Rapid. Here with me to offer his insight on these teams is my co-caster, Nero.
Yeah, well, I also predicted 2-0, and I said that at the very beginning of the best of two.
But who did you pick the 2-0 for?
For OMG, of course.
Oh, come on. You're not going to go against that? Like, you know the odds of betting on Young Glory right now? It's,
well,
it's got to be pretty big.
Not at the moment. Maybe before the game, I said that Young Glory have a good chance of picking up one game, maybe, because they played quite well against LGD in the previous week, and they are stepping up their play, but, well, after seeing the first one, not really. OMG is just crushing them, but I am expecting a Kale ban to come out right here. This Kale was just a beast, flashing in and taking on everyone as she wanted to.
And they're highlighting the new hairstyles there, maybe attributing some of Cool's power to being bald like the champion he played. So Rise is there to help things out. And Lee Sin, also a great game from Drug. He really helped shore up the early game for OMG. Had a couple of really nice counter ganks. But yeah, we're about to hop in here in game number 2. You can see everybody sort of getting all their equipment set up. OMG looking dominant. They're not too concerned about things, but over from Young Glory, they got some big problems that they need to look at.
So we'll see what... yeah, exactly. The Kale ban coming out as the first one right here. So I know maybe Thresh is gonna be left out open right here due to this Kale ban, but I have really no idea what they will leave, because anything that they will leave to OMG will just crush them with. At the moment, this TF, Cool is going to be superior with it. The Thresh, well, Neymar, it is their only hope. They shouldn't really ban Thresh, they shouldn't really focus the supports, because it's a stand-in. Koma isn't really playing with OMG too often. He's just stepping in for Cloud because he's sick.
Yeah, that's actually something big to notice. OMG, not only did they just get 2-0'd by EDG in the IEM qualifiers, but they are playing with a sub, so you'd think this is maybe your time to strike if you're going to take a game off of OMG. They're a little bit weaker with a sub, weaker because they've well, just illustrated some weaknesses versus EDG. We'll have to see if Young Glory can exploit those same weaknesses, although this time a little bit of a different trip through the ban phase, banning out that Lulu versus Tiangun.
Yeah, so banning out the Lulu. Actually, well, OMG don't really have to, but look at that. They had the first pick Yasuo, because Young Glory, they expected OMG to ban Yasuo against them. That's why OMG going for a little bit of a mind games right here. They will take this for themselves, and most probably this is going to be Cool playing it. Unless once again Go-Going is going to pick up another champion and Cool is going to play maybe Renekton this time.
Well, we'll see what we get. The big thing to notice is that OMG left Yasuo up just because they have first pick. So they would have intentionally banned it every single game versus Tiangun. He's a big Yasuo player, but they leave the Yasuo up. What do they give away? Maybe a Gragas getting locked in here for number 1. So he's trying to check that one out. I'd like to see the Gragas. The other thing that they're going to grab is a Skarner. So I hope Illusion's out there watching. We saw him play Skarner for IG yesterday. To varying degrees of success, let's put it that way. Skarner coming back here in the LPL. Hasn't made it to the other regions of the world just yet, so we'll see if it can make it work here. Young Glory, not a lot to lose here versus OMG. They will lock in the jungle Rengar.
Alright, they got Skarner, but he's especially useful with someone that can boost his movement speed, but there's the Lulu ban, and I don't think that Tiangun will go for a Zillion. Maybe
I want to see Orianna.
Oh yeah, that would be a perfect one. Definitely.
I haven't really seen Tiangun play all that much at Orianna. I think the one game that I did see it was probably too outdated to reference, so we're just going to assume that he's not going to go Ori. What does he pick for the move speed buff? Maybe you get a Janna support? I don't know about that. But the Nidalee pick being hovered over. Now keep in mind, Nidalee is banned in LCS in the 4.11 patch. Still not going to go with that. Oh, and there's the Riven. Wait, that's mid lane Riven. Unless he wants to go for the lane swap and get the Gragas mid.
I know. Diangun is a top lane player. He was playing in Young Glory in the top lane, and he even crushed Go-Going when he was doing that. So maybe he's just going for the top himself, or
Oh.
maybe he's going to play this Riven in the mid.
Yeah, Riven versus Yasuo. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of CSing going on. It's just like two champions, they run at each other's faces, and one of them dies. We'll check that one out. But, oh, there's the lock-in on Jax at the very end, and that means that it'll be a mid lane Yasuo versus Diangun. He'll get the matchup that he wants, and top lane Jax then for Go-Going versus number one's Gragas.
Yeah, and look at that. The Janna support. You said it yourself, and here it is. Maybe it will get locked in.
Please don't actually pick Janna's support.
Hey, but when Kitties was playing it, he was playing it extremely well.
Okay,
so
that's
it's not
true.
a big problem.
But I feel like that's more Kitties and less the Janna support. I think he could have done that on almost any support champion. But Janna, it looks like it will be switched over to a Morgana there at the last second. I don't really know what the Morgana gets you in that team comp for YG, other than maybe a Dark Binding to stop Rengar from blowing up Shenlong. But we'll see as the champions will get swapped around to their final roles. Really interesting team comp here from Young Glory, picking up some champions you don't see all that often.
Young Glory not even going for the swaps, they just picked the champions in the right order. Well, actually, this Riven and Gragas, I'm still curious. And it is going to be Riven in the middle lane.
Yeah, it is mid lane Riven. Gonna be coming in here against.
Or maybe, let's not say mid lane River, let's say it's Diangun River.
Okay, that is true. You can never tell who's going which lane. It's not crazy lane swaps in game number one. I think the reswaps were a little bit more interesting. Let's go ahead and check out the standings before we get in here to game number two. You can see right at the top of the standings, OMG looking dominant, and with 7 times the number of points that Young Glory have. It's actually 7.5 times because they've picked up another one. So really, really impressive play by them. And Young Glory with 2 wins, no longer winless. We'll see if they can put up a showing here versus versus OMG. See how young Glory can be as they hop into game number 2. And of course, we'll get in there in just a second. You can see the teams on your screen. Young Glory facing off against OMG. We're gonna hit a quick commercial break. Anything you'd like to highlight about this game that we should be looking for, Nero, before we get into it?
Well, there's no Oriana. But yeah, on the other side, I just want to look at Diangun once again playing this top lane champion, because he was one of the best top laners in the LPL that I remember from the previous season. And I would love to see him play top lane once again. And once again win against Go-Going.
Alright, so got the standings on the stream. Let's go ahead and hop into the game. Game number 2 on your screen, and on the way, OMG have a small amount of damage. I'd like to think that they could deal some damage. I like to think that the high damage from Jax, Rengar, and Yasuo is just to make up for having an Ezreal on their team. San is one of the only AD carries out there in LPL that'll still play Ezreal, along with maybe Kid, I guess. So
and Wei Xiao maybe sometimes. But
maybe.
Yeah, that's really rare.
Maybe. Cool and Diangun kind of trolling around there in the mid lane. Cool dropped his trinket ward right on Diangun to try to bait him out and get an auto attack advantage over him, but it didn't work out too well. You can see Go-Going number 1 trading up the top lane.
Yeah, they're laughing right there in the middle lane if you looked at the cameras, but in the top lane, there's just a body slam to meet Go-Going. There's no fun in the top.
No fun to be had in any of those lanes. Dance party in the mid lane, of course. I think Riven's winning that one out, but neither team really looking for too many crazy swaps and stuff. Neymar's going to drop a ward just to scout out the jungle start and see exactly where Yin Fu is going. But should still see lane swaps. I don't know about this. All right, so yeah, it's going to be a lane swap for OMG. They'll send San and Neymar up to top lane. And of course, in case you guys are just missing it or just joining us, Neymar is Coma. He changed his name up. He also goes by
Dada7 and Tricky Boy.
Yeah, Dada, which is actually the name they had on the overlays when they were introducing us. So duo lane top for OMG, and it'll be the counter lane swap as well from Young Glory.
So this Riven is going to go into the mid. Well, I wanted to see Diangun versus Go-Going because that was the most epic matchup of the previous season.
Something I'm really excited about this time around is not only did Cool bring out Rise last time around, but this time it's actually Gun bringing out the Ribbon. So definitely some new mid lane champions out there. See how they work out against each other. You know, I like the Ribbon in this matchup just because she has the CC and lockdown that not a lot of champions will have onto Cool's Yasuo. But Yasuo is just such a monster. Free crit and way too much damage for Ribbon to tank through.
Yeah, but also seeing Rengar in the jungle. And there we go, Django. Someone does not want him to win the middle lane. Goes disconnected. Some DDoSing on LAN.
Yeah,
Right,
I'd love to see that happen. I don't think that's actually what's going on. Probably some peripheral issues as they get everything back to where they can get it working. Young Glory, you can see their faces right now. They're definitely concentrated. They're still in this to win it, but they'll have their hands full. OMG, very dominant performance so far in LPL.
Right, so I wanted to say about this Rengar. It's good to see someone else than Insect playing it right here. Drag going for this Rengar. And we'll see if it is going to be the same success as Insect's Rengar. And actually, it's interesting to say that the success on Insect's Rengar, because he's been pretty much not playing as the best jungler right here in the LPL. Clearly, he's mediocre at most. And, well, Drug, if he plays even better than Insect, because he had some success on the Rengar, so and then Insect is going to be this kind of sad-face guy in the LPL's junglers who just looks at the others playing better than him.
Big matchup to watch as we hop back into the game. Of course, will be the mid lane. It's going to be incredibly aggressive. Lots of trading early on. And we'll see how that works out. If both mid laners wind up with like 200 CS at 15 minutes, somebody's playing that lane wrong. So we'll see how that works out. Should be a lot of fun to watch that. But a duo switch up to the top lane here. It's actually going to be 4 top. Is this the return of the 4v0? OMG, putting so much pressure top lane. I think they're more going for champion picks than they are dives, but should be looking to take down this top lane turret very early. And maybe rotate down to bottom lane in time to stop Young Glory from getting Dragon.
Okay, so in the spring split, it was World Lead who did the 4v0 lane swaps like 5 games in a row, and now it is OMG going for it for the 2nd game in a row, maybe trying to beat the record. But look at that.
This isn't 4v0. This is the big dive strat. They're looking to control the upper jungle because at some point or another, Yin Fu is going to walk into that jungle and they're just going to destroy him. This time it's OMG going for that LGD 5-man dive strat. They're walking around the edges. Oh, the creep comes out and sees going. So no surprises there for Diangun.
Most probably they are backing away. They will be taking the jungle, but is it the right choice? They will not be getting too much experience with 3 people taking 1 camp, and look at that. Young Glory is just taking the dragon. So the same thing as in the previous matchup happening. But this time around, it's OMG that are losing on it.
Yeah, OMG are not going to be rotating bottom lane in time for the dragon. They committed really hard to that top jungle control game, and they're not really getting anything off of it. They could have done the same thing and farmed both top and bottom of their own jungle. But they have an iron vice grip on that top half of the map, that's for sure. Will be able to take down that turret whenever they want. And really a wise play by Yin Fu, the Skarner jungle on Young Glory, to not go top lane or top half of the map at all and really just leave that not going to walk into 5 champions. Big trades though by the mid lane. Yeah, Diangun is actually trading this out pretty evenly. Of course, even in potions there. He actually went Doran's shield there versus the auto attacks from Cool. And there's the all-in. No ignite being burned, but there's the double summoners there. Diangun in so much trouble. Gets the shield from Valor and survives the all-in. Double summoners down for Cool at a big disadvantage in that matchup.
It could have even been the first blood for Diangun, but the flash at the very same moment that Diangun used his stun completely denied. But well, Cool using his flash and ignite in exchange for just a flash. So in the end, he is the one losing by a little bit in the summoner spells, but he will gain in the CS and experience right here.
Cool does get to push a wave into turret, but it's actually a nice rotation down from number one, who will soak that wave up. And he's not actually going to kill the wave, he's going to wait for it to freeze. Oh, that's really, really smart, because not only does he not take CS from Gun, he freezes the wave in a very bad place for Cool, who will be a little bit sad about that when he comes back into lane.
Yep, but he also loses half of his health to just minions. Well, he's the Gragas, he'll have a little bit of regen, he'll be in the jungle, that is okay for him. So a smart play coming out from Young Glory. But what will they do right now? They need to get some early advantage going, because OMG, if they get something for themselves, this will not be good for them.
1v2 in the bottom lane for Going though. It's not often you actually get to see these 1v2s, because usually Going will just be double jungling with Drug.
Oh, he gets caught. And Drug was just there.
I don't... Okay, well, there's the Skarner power coming in. Going was not where he was supposed to be. Drug, a little bit slow to rotate, and that's kind of uncharacteristic. Game 1, 3 times in a row he was there for counter ganks, and just as much as Skarner had his jungle controlled, now he and number one are going to take charge of that bottom jungle.
And it's incredible, because Drug was there, he was standing exactly on top of that turret, and then he turned around and went through the tribe rush when Young Glory came around from the other side, and that was the perfect positioning from them. I don't know if they were aware of the positioning of Drug, but it was the perfect positioning of them.
Wait a second, does Yasuo Windwall block caster minion auto attacks? I'm pretty sure it only blocks champion spells through the Windwall. But if it blocks all projectiles, that's a great way to freeze the wave, and that's exactly what Cool just did, putting it in a very good place for himself. Blue buff probably going to be taken by Skarner, and that's a really good Skarner pick when you have an energy mid laner, or just a cooldown mid laner, so you can give Skarner the blue buff that helps him out so much.
So Cool. He got zoned by a little bit with a freeze coming out from number one. Now he freezes this one himself quite well, and look at that, the positioning of
we got
Jangun.
teleport into the mid lane, canceled immediately. No questions asked about that, but now it's actually going to be Jangun in a 1v2, and there's the lockdown from the last breath. Exhaust down as well, but here's actually Young Glory coming in to turn it around. They're going to grab a kill there on an Amar, and just a little bit overextended, didn't have the ward coverage, and a perfect rotation. Young Glory gets them first and second blood.
I cannot understand why Neymar came there. Of course, he's a Leona, he can lock someone up, and then he should just run away. It was just level 3 compared to level 7. He went down immediately when someone damaged him. I don't know, he should wait a little bit more with this ganking. He should get a little bit more experience, because compared to Morgana, who was already level 5, she was nothing right there.
Same thing we saw in game number 1 as here in game 2. Going doubling the CS of number 1. Number 1's really just been roaming around the map, trying to get into a good lane for himself, but he finds himself in the lane with Going, and that is not where he wants to be. He's going to go for the traditional Chinese Gragas build with the Frozen Heart for extra % damage reduction when you... Wait a second, did San just steal blue buff? He stole the blue buff. Oh, I guess it's not a steal because, you know, Drug's right there. But I don't know. That's a little bit of a commitment, ulting the blue buff just to grab it away from Drug instead of just walking down there to take it.
Yeah, and that's a good thing for Ezreal. He gets the cooldown reduction with the Qs, so he doesn't really care about using his ultimate as of yet, and well, there's no one that he needs to face in the top lane, so he doesn't really need his ultimate to deal the damage.
You might even call it Q reduction, because that's what he's going to be using it for. Is able to keep poking out Kog'Maw, but there's such a disparity in damage between these two duo lanes. Like, Kog'Maw just keeps scaling up and gets ridiculously strong, whereas this will be a blue build Ezreal for San. He's going to play more of a supportive role on his team, and set Cool up to deal all that damage. And look at San there. Oh, it's actually going to be the flash through the turret. Big dives coming in from Young Glory underneath that turret. I don't think this is going to go too well. Goings, or actually Drugs right there for the dash in. Jumps out from stealth, but he's not really having a whole lot of help back from that. It's OMG. 0-2 off of a perfect dive from Young Glory.
Okay, Cool just used the wind wall right there, worrying that he will get caught by the dark biting, but I don't know if he noticed that Yasuo had no mana at all to even execute that, but still, Cool was there to try and go for the kill. Drug was there. Gogoing even used his teleport. No one could get anything from OMG, and now they can't seem to find an answer to what Young Glory is doing. 4-0. It's rare that we see something like that. Usually there's at least one kill on the other side.
And normally I'd say, hey, just turtle it out, OMG. You've got the team fights and the game knowledge later on. But there's a Kog'Maw up there, and to be honest, the suppression from Skarner, he's going to be able to impale somebody back into the burst damage from either the knockback from Gragas, or you've got Riven just there to blow somebody up. So things are not going to get super easy, especially if you're Yasuo. So shutting down the duo lane there, San dying in that top lane dive. Maybe looking to shut down the mid lane, just using Skarner for that lockdown capability. And things looking good for Young Glory. They've been rotating around the map very, very well. Had some great dives mid and top lane. And looking dominant coming in here to the second dragon of the game, now getting into position.
Right, so I called it yesterday. The blue Ezreal is gonna come out on China, but the second part is someone is gonna pick up the Essence Reaver. Please,
oh, no.
Sun, go for it.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
But yeah, also a thing to point out on Sun, he is usually the guy that goes for the hyper carry, 80 carries. So it's really weird for him to go for the Ezreal and for a blue one, and now he's even losing and is still going for the blue build, which is not paying off.
Exactly.
And it is going to be tough for OMG because he can't hyper carry, and he's the best in the best shape when he's hyper carrying. So now he's simply playing the bad champion for him.
Oh, but a dive coming in. There's the lockdown on a cool Drugs there for some counter, but he just gets blown apart. Man, a perfect dive again. 2 for 2 in Young Glory. Or 2 for 0, rather. They are 2 for 2 on dives, though. This is really aggressive, and every single time it's just working out. A big plays there by Yanser, and I guess even bigger ones from Yinfu. Both support and jungler diving that mid lane, and looking for a second tier turret, but run out of minions, and we'll have to back out for now.
And still, Yinfu not even going to that two-shot barrage, and Diangun getting a double kill. So this Riven is now 4-0-1. Well, Young Glory is looking for a win in this game.
We said if there's any lane that Young Glory have to have win, or are going to have win versus OMG, it's going to be Diangun. He's been just on a huge power spike, and ironically enough, not only is Cool looking better than ever, he's on one of his familiar champions. It's an incredibly strong champion that's almost always banned out, and so everything should be going for Cool, but big plays there by Diangun. And it's not even just him one-on-one winning his lane. It's Young Glory as a team going for these crazy dives and having them work out.
I never expected Young Glory to pick up the second game after losing the first one so horribly. I would say that they may win the first one and then lose the second one. And that's what I actually said at the very beginning of the best of two. I said that they have a chance of winning one game, but I definitely didn't expect it to be this way. And well, it's still not a one game because the Baron throw is real, but well, Young Glory is doing so well already.
Well, Cool's Yasuo not looking too hot here, and talking about things that look good. Diangun's Riven 4-0. And more spectacularly, it's not just the Riven that's looking good. You have a completed Frozen Heart on #1's Gragas. So if you're trying to get that attack speed off of either Riven or Yasuo, it's just not going to be there. Of course, that actually makes it a little bit better for San's Ezreal because it's blue build, and he won't be doing a whole lot of auto-attacking. It's more just going to be about throwing out those Qs.
Yeah, but it's still gonna get tough for him when they start stealing the blue buffs. Of course, I mean Young Glory, because they get the map control already. They took down the turret in the middle lane, and look at that. There comes the blue steal. They are on it already.
Oh, a narrow arcane shift over the wall there for San. And Young Glory, they're just doing such a good job on rotating through the jungle and not staying too long in lanes. They've sent Riven, who's too strong to fight, to the top lane to split push, and they're just rotating right up to her by taking through the jungle. They're pushing things out there, and oh, Cool. Where's that Dark Binding? Trying to bait out the Windwall, but just a retreat there from Cool. Giving up the mid lane once again to Young Glory.
Okay, so Kog'Maw got the blue buff of OMG. Now he's gonna be giving away more of his ultimates and more of his ranged skills. So yeah, San is gonna get completely outplayed by the enemy AD carry. Well, this Kog'Maw is going to be better in everything, simply. 6k gold difference at the moment, and Young Glory is going for yet another push. And with this Riven, this is gonna get easy for them.
And I think they're trying to bait out OMG to try to come stop Diangun. But it's actually action in the bottom lane is #1. This time it's OMG going for the dives, and looks like it's working out pretty well. Young Glory realized that OMG's called their bluff and diving bottom lane, so they just come out the bushes, try to take that top turret, but can't, as the minion wave will dissipate. I think they'll be able to take it on the next time around, but they lose a turret in the bottom lane off of a good push from OMG.
Yep, so OMG finally taking something for themselves. That's really good. Young Glory will take this turret easily, and now there comes the engage from Neymar. I don't think it's a good one.
A grab in there on San. He's gonna get suppressed and just destroyed. Young Glory, they got their dive game on point, and OMG, they're not reacting to it in time. You can tell San thought he'd be able to arcane shift out, but can't do that against the Skarner. Got locked up and taken down. OMG now desperately looking to stop these rotations from working out from Young Glory.
So 7-1. Finally, there's this one kill on OMG that I was talking about. But still, Young Glory being so dominant, it's just incredible. And the turnaround, because OMG was pretty much the same on the previous game. But now they're on the other side. They are the losing ones. So is it the cursed blue side?
The cursed blue side. Really exciting to see if that curse holds true for our next best of two. But currently, we're still watching Young Glory just do everything right. They've got rotations down. Their dives are looking impeccable. And they've just got great strategy too now. They got a little bit outplayed by OMG rotating bottom lane for the dive. So they gave up a kill there, but I don't think Young Glory were too concerned about that. They got kills and turrets top lane. Everything looking good, as now mid lane's kind of the last point of pressure for them to put on. Still looking to get a control on that lane. Oh, smite there from Drug. He grabs the big Wraith away. So, moral victory, if not an actual one.
That's incredible. It is a 1-7 with Neymar on the team, and people finding it out is just...
1-7,
God.
huh? I guess you could call OMG Germany right now.
Well, actually, you could call them Brazil.
Oh, that would be...
it's Germany.
Yeah, that's true. I had my teams reversed. Ugh. Either way, we got a cool down in the bottom lane. He's not going to be down there for very long. There's Soul Shackles being forced to flash around. Janser's going to flash with him. The snare will still land. Cool's going to get locked up and nowhere to run. Oh, Cool. Poor Cool is going to go down here. There's actually the Wind Slash for the 6th kill of the game. Good sweet lord, Diangun is just crushing Cool in that 1v1. Of course, there he had his team with him to help him out.
Yeah, so Cool was there fighting this Morgana, so okay, it's a 1v1, he can deal with it, but then there's everyone coming from around the walls, and it's like a zombie swarm coming to swallow your brain, and Cool just got devoured by Young Glory right there in the fight at the bottom. Got overflown with the enemy champions, and he's gone completely.
He's just like, alright, I can 1v1 the support. It's like, alright, I can 1v2 the support and the AD carry. Alright, there's 4 champions here. I'm in a little bit of trouble. So, that means that Cool, now he's not going to be able to split push and try to get back in that regard. Young Glory can't find the push mid, so they're going to rotate bottom lane, and there's nobody to stop Shenlong. He's just got the range. Going to be putting him on there. Oh, but he gets jumped on. There's nobody from Young Glory there to keep him alive, and Drug's going to be able to dumpster him from the back lines. It's going to pick up back kill, but oh, Drug now, he's in a little bit of trouble, trying to make his way away, and the escape is successful there from Skarner. Actually flashes over that wall. Neymar's still looking for this. They're trying to find the pick onto Diangun. Just the tip. That Zenith blade missing. Riven making it out alive.
Incredible, but still, Young Glory lost that fight big time. The True Shot barrage crossing and taking 2 members of their team. It could have even took down 3 right there. And Cool, now he's being over aggressive, and Diangun is just blowing him up.
Cool, what are you doing? You just chased them away, but not... I think he's not quite as strong as he thought he was. The all-in from an now 8-0 Riven. Diangun just hard carrying Young Glory.
Alright, so they're in the bottom, 1v4, he lost the fight. That is okay, because 1v4 no one can really win the fight, but right now 1v1, getting completely annihilated, and Diangun was solo on his health bar too.
The big catch here onto Shenlong is what really starts this fight out very well for OMG. But then look at Drug, he gets ulted back into the middle of the enemy team, and it's perfect shot calling from Young Glory. They just call that immediately. All right, kill off Drug. They kill the
Look at the low
jungle.
health bus here.
But yeah, they're just like, they're low, they're trying to run away. San's forced to arcane shift back, but he looks like the one that's
Now.
completely untouched. And oh, that true shot barrage, just beautiful right through Young Glory. And while that team fight was amazing, as you can see from the reactions of the crowd, we're about to see Cool do some not quite so amazing stuff as Yasuo has yet to get going.
This Skarner stayed alive by a miracle right there. This Truciate Barrage should have taken him down, and now Young Glory will have an easy inner turret in the bottom lane. So that's what they wanted to get before the fight happened. And they will still get it for free. So still, even though OMG won a fight, it's always the 8k gold difference. And
Still
the
big
802
advantages.
ribbon.
Oh yeah, the 802 still deathless, and I mean you should notice that he's being out CS, but that's just because you've seen Cool rotate to both side lanes to try desperately to get some farm coming his way. He will never have an Infinity Edge. That item is gonna come maybe like 20-25 minutes in the future for him, and that's if he can keep getting CS. Young Glory may not try to let the game go that long. They do have to worry about Jax starting to get farmed up there. Going is still a monster. He's winning out that lane matchup by like 40 CS. He's got the Trinity Force completed. And he's going to be strong if they let him, but there's so much counterplay to Jax from either ulting him off your carries with Gragas or just poking down turrets and forcing him to be the one to engage.
Well, the wind will stopping a little bit of damage onto this turret from Kog'Maw, so that's a little bit helpful to OMG, but they will not really be able to stand there for a long time. Young Glory is finally gonna take this turret, and look at that Jangan from behind.
Okay, well, I mean, you gotta give some credit. And meanwhile, look at Going. He is split pushing all the way up in the top lane, taking down that second tier top lane turret, and actually forcing recalls here out of Young Glory. They'll still commit to this push. Looking for turret damage. Mid turret down to about half health, and that ribbon just demanding so much pressure. Zoning OMG off of the second tier top lane or mid lane turret, and all you gotta look towards the top lane. Going, he's not carrying at all. Now he is probably going to take the turret and suicide, but actually might wind up picking up a death for himself. One more auto tech. Where's the leap strike? Can he get it? He's running away, and holy jukes out the barrel. Going just broke Gragas's ankles. Still winds up going down. Skarner zoning him out there, but a nice attempt at an escape by Going. His death, though, might give Young Glory their first Baron here at 23 minutes.
The outplay would have been perfect, but then the ultimate from Kog'Maw just shutting him down. It must have been breaking for his heart. And now this Baron will be going down. Young Glory will be taking it, and I was talking about the Baron throws.
Does San have the steal? We've got Drug looking to jump over the wall, but he'll be forced to flash if he wants to get into that Baron pit. He's got the ultimate. Oh, okay, that's Ezreal ultimate down. No steal, and Young Glory with Baron buff.
Yeah, so I wanted to say that the Baron throw was real, but right now they took down Going, and there was no real opportunity for OMG to get in there and steal it. Well, Drug could have just suicided, but it wouldn't really pay off. Would have been a team fight straight after that, with Young Glory probably winning it. So the Dragon will be a little bit that they want, because look at the turrets. Right now it's 5-6. They evened that out by a little bit.
Yeah, and you gotta give credit to Going for making that happen. He was able to take down every single turret in the top lane. Did wind up dying for it, but all three turrets taken down. It's a big source of strength because now Going can sort of take control of this game by himself. He is going to head top lane and split up there until the end of time, because he might be able to take down that top inhibitor if nobody splits against him. And I think he's arguably one of, if not the strongest member of OMG. So sending him split pushing is probably a good idea. The only problem is that OMG then have to defend 4v5, and that's something Young Glory has been punishing them for, defending their turrets all game long.
Yeah, but still Gragas can't really deal with this Jax quickly enough, so it's still a good thing for Going to go for the split pushes, and now he has an open inhibitor. If he gets this one, OMG might create a little bit of space for themselves on the map with the super minions pushing.
Yeah, Skarner in the front lines. Big job being done there. Oh, San's trying to clear out the minions, but the turret's gonna go down. Skarner looking for the flash. He gets the impale, and Cool just explodes. Brilliant Skarner play there. I just gotta give massive props there. I did not expect Yinfu to have this kind of a Skarner game. I thought he was gonna...
not there.
Yeah, Going was trying to split push that top lane, but Gragas is going to keep him from recalling, so he's not even going to be able to join his team.
They might want to finish off the game here. That's what I wanted to say with this Jax being in the top lane. Because Cool is gone, it's just Sun with the damage.
And Neymar's not going to be able to do anything there. It's finally another kill as Drug is going to drop, and Young Glory will take down game number 2 versus OMG. I did not see this one coming, but Young Glory... coming from the 7th ranked team. Bottom of the standings here in the LPL. They take out number 1 as OMG fall in game number 2.
Right, so that's what's coming. World Elite Academy, they picked up a tie yesterday. Now Young Glory will pick up a tie here. So the bottom teams will be going for the ties every single time they face anyone. But against OMG, Young Glory picking up such an impressive win. And Yangon right now, he has beaten Going in the top lane in the previous season. Right now, he has completely annihilated Cool. He is one of the best players right here in China sometimes.
Well, going back to the standings, we can check out OMG with 7 times the number of points coming into this series than Young Glory. And I gotta say, I'm just nothing but impressed. Yangon especially, like, we highlighted him coming into this game. It was a little bit of false hype because he's going up against such a big powerhouse, the Men in Black from OMG. Kind of got neuralized there in game number 2, and that's a 1-1 split. As Young Glory rise 1 point above World Elite to 7th place, putting World Elite Academy in 8th place. But while World Elite Academy may now be in the bottom half of the standings, we've got World Elite taking on Edward Gaming in our second best of 2 series of the night. And if you thought this series was good, something tells me EDG versus Wii is going to be a little bit better.
Yep, so we'll see that coming after the 1-hour break. Actually, it's going to be a long one, but we don't really know when exactly it's going to start because the previous time we ended so quickly, the game started a little bit earlier than the schedule said. So
exactly.
Ready, guys.
So usually around this time, if you're new to LPL, we have a 1-hour break in between series. So you can see the times there on our screen. We just finished the best of 2 between OMG and Young Glory. Second best of 2 will be EDG versus World Elite. That'll be anywhere from 1 hour to 1.5 hours from now. Might be a little bit shorter, so come back in an hour. We'll see where we are, and thank you guys for tuning in. This, of course, is the LPL broadcast in English on Twitch TV, made possible in part by our friends at Gosu Gamers and Games in Asia. I am Rapid. I'm here with Nero. We'll be your shoutcasters for tonight. We're going to take a little bit of an extended break, but come back in about an hour. We'll have EDG taking on World Elite in our second series of the night. Pretty good stats to have and well warranting the MVP vote. There you can see your Chinese casters on the stream. Every single one of them predicted a 2-0 for OMG. I'm gonna have to do the same thing, but I'm not the only one here. I'm Rapid. Here with me to offer his insight on these teams is my co-caster Nero.
Yeah, well, I also predicted 2-0, and I said that at the very beginning of the best of two.
But who
I
did you
said
pick the
that,
2-0 for?
for OMG, of course.
Oh,
but
come
well,
on, you're not gonna go against that? Like, you know the odds of betting on Young Glory right now? It's
well,
it's gotta be pretty big.
not at the moment. Maybe before the game, I said that Young Glory have a good chance of picking up one game, maybe, because they played quite well against LGD in the previous week, and they are stepping up their play, but well, after seeing the first one, not really. OMG is just crushing them, but I am expecting a Kale ban to come out right here. This Kale was just a beast, flashing in and taking on everyone that she wanted to for themselves, and most probably this was going to be Cool playing it. Unless once again Going is going to pick up another champion and Cool is going to play maybe Renekton this time.
Well, we'll see what we get. The big thing to notice is that OMG left Yasuo up just because they have first pick. So they would have intentionally banned it every single game versus Diangun. He's a big Yasuo player, but they leave the Yasuo up. What do they give away? Maybe a Gragas getting locked in here for number one. So he's trying to check that one out. I'd like to see the Gragas. The other thing that they're going to grab is a Skarner. So I hope Illusion's out there watching. We saw him play Skarner for IG yesterday. To varying degrees of success, let's put it that way. Skarner coming back here in the LPL. Hasn't made it to the other regions of the world just yet, so we'll see if he can make it work here. Young Glory, not a lot to lose here versus OMG. They will lock in the jungle Rengar.
Alright, they got Skarner, but he's especially... Well, Neymar, it is their only hope. They shouldn't really ban Thresh, they shouldn't really focus the supports because it's their stand-in. Koma isn't really playing with OMG too often. He's just stepping in for Cloud because he's sick.
Yeah, that's actually something big to notice. OMG, not only did they just get 2-0'd by EDG in the IEM qualifiers, but they are playing with a sub, so you'd think this is maybe your time to strike if you're going to take a game off of OMG. They're a little bit weaker with a sub, weaker because they've just illustrated some weaknesses versus EDG. We'll have to see if Young Glory can exploit those same weaknesses, although this time a little bit of a different trip through the ban phase, banning out that Lulu versus Diangun.
Yeah, so banning out the Lulu. Actually, well, OMG don't really have to, but look at that. They had the first pick Yasuo. Because Young Glory, they expected OMG to ban Yasuo against them. That's why OMG going for a little bit of a mind games right here. They will take this useful with someone that can boost his movement speed, but there's the Lulu ban, and I don't think that Diangun will go for a Zillion. Maybe
I want to see
Jace,
Orianna.
Oh yeah, that would be a perfect one. Definitely.
I haven't really seen Diangun play all that much of Orianna. I think the one game that I did see it was probably too outdated to reference, so we're just going to assume that he's not going to go Ori. What does he pick for the move speed buff? Maybe you get a Janna support? I don't know about that. But the Nidalee pick being hovered over. Now keep in mind, Nidalee is banned in LCS in the 4.11 patch. Still not going to go with that. Oh, and there's the Riven. Wait, that's mid lane Riven. Unless he wants to go for the lane swap and get the Gragas mid.
I know. Diangun is a top lane player. He was playing in Young Glory in the top lane, and he even crushed Going when he was doing that. So maybe he's just going for the top himself, or maybe he's going to play this Riven in the mid.
Yeah, Riven versus Yasuo. I don't think they're highlighting the new hairstyles there. Maybe attributing some of Cool's power to being bald like the champion he played. So Rise was there to help things out. And Lee Sin, also a great game from Drug. He really helped shore up the early game for OMG. Had a couple of really nice counter ganks. But yeah, we're about to hop in here in game number 2. You can see everybody sort of getting all their equipment set up. OMG looking dominant. They're not too concerned about things, but over from Young Glory, they got some big problems that they need to look at.
Well, so we'll see what... yeah, exactly. The Kale ban coming out as the first one right here. So I know maybe Thresh is gonna be left out open right here due to this Kale ban. But I have really no idea what they will leave, because anything that they will leave to OMG, OMG will just crush them with. At the moment, this TF, Cool is going to be superior with it. The Thresh